Guys and gals, this is XIJABERWALKIX bringing you the best in esports. Today we have KT Rolster versus Hwaseung set to RoO versus Jaedong. RoO is a completely pretty much new player, I believe. He is 1-3 in the Pro League, and well, altogether, I think he's only played in the Pro League, and he is 0-2 versus Zerg, so this is really bad for him because he's going up against the Legend Killer with a 68% win rate and a 72% win rate versus Zerg, Jaedong. But, you know, RoO does have one thing going for him. One, he is playing with the freaking most ridiculous looking hair I've ever seen, and two, he is also playing with, the coolest jacket I've ever seen. I am so jealous of those KT jackets, man. That is so sick, with head right on the front. Not really a big fan of head products in terms of tennis, but that jacket, man, that jacket is sweet. Jaedong's going to be spawning at the 2 o'clock position as the red Zerg, and the 12 o'clock Zerg is going to be RoO in yellow. His Overlord Scout is going in the wrong direction. Jaedong's is going in the right direction. Merry Christmas at the top right. And, oh yeah, by the way, this is on Icarus, where there is a lot of open space in the middle that can be utilized for micro, stuff like that, but it's not going to really matter too much in this matchup because it is ZVZ. So we're going to see how well, you know, these players can play. I'm assuming, just assuming, that Jaedong is going to come out ahead with this one. And before this game gets started too much, I wanted to say I'm in such a better mood than I was yesterday. Yesterday I spent about 2 hours trying to look for HD screen caps for Starcraft 2, and I couldn't find one that had DMW, I believe, capture, which allows you to capture desktop stuff as well. And so I want something that's both of those. I looked at, I actually asked Diggity, and he responded to me that DX Tori, I think that's how you say it, is a very good thing. But I looked at it, it was 3,600 yen, which is like $44, which is way expensive. It looks like 12 hash going down for RoO, and something like a 12 pool going down for Jaedong, as well as his extractor. So a little bit of deviation in the build. Jaedong might try to put some early pressure on RoO, but as it stands, I think that RoO is a little bit ahead in terms of economy, just now putting down his spawning pool. Jaedong's going to see this because his Overlord Scout did go in the right direction at first. His Overlord's going to be in the base, going to see that that spawning pool is a little bit late. Hatchery going down for Jaedong as well, and so yeah, I spent a ton of time. He does have 3 drones on that extractor. I spent a ton of freaking time looking for that, and I couldn't find one. I looked at Playclaw, I looked at Camtasia, and I was just like, oh my god, I can't find anything good. And so we're gonna have to see what I end up using for StarCraft 2. I know that Fraps is a very good program, but you know, the support is not the best. Plus, it's really not you know, doing so well. It kind of lags StarCraft 2 from what I hear from Diggity and some other people. Anyways, Jaedong looks like he's not making any Zerglings. Those that egg might be the first Zergling, so 2 Zerglings coming out for Jaedong. And RoO, I don't believe, is making out Zerglings either. He doesn't have any Zerglings. Those eggs possibly might be Zerglings. It looks like he's morphing his hatches. Both hatches go at the same time, and so, you know, this is pretty much even. You know, RoO is going to be a little bit ahead in terms of economy, but it's not going to really matter because he is going up against the Legend Killer Jaedong. And so, you know, I do the pre-like introductions for the players. I'm not going to do that every time. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, 68%, blah blah blah, Jaedong, the Legend Killer. I'm just going to do it probably for the first time that the players play, and then, you know, I'll give some stats about the races, but that's about it. The Overlord finally getting into Jaedong's base. Looks like Jaedong is able to sneak 2 Zerglings, and he's going to be able to get in the base, but at the same time, RoO is coming down with a ton of Zerglings. I hope that Jaedong makes more Zerglings, or at least puts down a Sunken to defend this, because RoO is impending on his base with some Zerglings. 2 Zerglings get in the base for Jaedong, able to pick off 1 drone. That's crucial. Miss Micro, man. What is up with his micros? Another drone goes down, and that Sunken is not yet built. More Zerglings popping out for Jaedong. Jaedong's going to be able to hold this off. I believe that Sunken is, or that Creep Colony is drastically, or desperately, I mean, trying to morph into a Sunken. He's able to hold it off with this 4. How is he able to hold it off with just 4 Zerglings? I don't know what's going on here, but more Zerglings coming in, and so he did hold off RoO. RoO is hair, man. It's just stopping him from being able to make good decisions. It looks like that Bleach just got to his head, and so he didn't move in there. Spire going down for Jaedong. It looks like Jaedong and RoO both pulled drones off of gas. He wants to have more drones for minerals. He only has 1 drone on gas for the time being. I don't think Jaedong has any drones on gas. He doesn't have any drones on gas, so we're just going to go very, very Zergling heavy, and it looks like The Spire, I believe, for Jaedong is going to be a little bit sooner, but at the same time, you know that the Spire timing isn't really that important as they have to move that far, and the defending player is going to be able to reinforce a lot quicker. As I always say, that Zergling for Jaedong is still being very, very annoying. Obviously, they both have speed at this point in the game. Jaedong just persisting, just staying in the base, not getting picked off, and that just shows the superior micro of Jaedong compared to RoO. RoO is a new player, so, you know, it's surprising that some of the new players are still going to Broodwar, because a lot of the players are going to StarCraft 2 and trying to get into the GSL, stuff like that, as we did see a lower participation in the individual leagues for Broodwar. But here comes RoO trying to push in with some Zerglings. I don't believe this is going to work just because that Sun Colony is here. Looks like he's going to go really commit to this attack. Another Sun Colony forms in, and RoO's like, you know what, screw that. I'm going to have to retreat. I'm not going to be able to get in there at all. And RoO is in a ton of trouble, I believe, man. He just... Why do they... I mean, blonde and brown are okay sometimes, but that is just so ridiculous. Here comes 3 more Zerglings for Jaedong. One of them gets picked off, but 2 more are in the base, so we're probably going to be able to kill off one of these drones. Hopefully he doesn't miss Sparkle like he did before and just absolutely stop attacking the Spire when he was ahead. I don't really remember who that was against. But he was like epic fail there. He stopped attacking the Spire and actually lost ZVZ, which is very rare for Jaedong. Here he comes again with more Zerglings. He's going to have to back up, and a lot of Scourge made for RoO because he knew that his Spire was delayed. He's coming in here with the Scourge, probably going to try to pick off some Mutalisks, might even try to pick off some Overlords just because he has so many. There's not that many Mutalisks out for Jaedong. I think he probably only built 6, able to pick off 2 of the Scourge, able to pick off another one, so very good macro by Jaedong. Jaedong's just able to do so well, and oh man, those Scourge landing on, I believe, one of the Mutalisks, but on one of the Overlords. The Overlords still being able to live. And so, you know, Jaedong is in a very good position. There are a lot of Zerglings out for RoO, but at the same time, he doesn't have any mutas on the field. He hasn't built 1 muta yet, and so he's kind of screwed when it comes to his Zergling attack. He's going to try to push in here in the natural base, just trying to overrun these sunken colonies, but I don't think it's going to work. He's not doing good enough micro, and here come the mutas just absolutely going to be able to tear through these Zerglings. This is probably going to be GG, folks, just because he's not able to get anything in here, and Jaedong's able to pick off all of these Zerglings. Going to have that last one in his base, but it's going to be picked off nonetheless, and RoO knows that he's going to be 0-3 versus Zerg. That sucks for him that he had to go against Jaedong. That's really unfortunate, and you know, that's just the luck of the draw really in the Pro League, that you go against the best Zerg ever to play when you're first starting out. But you know, he'll learn, hopefully. Maybe not. He'll probably never beat Jaedong just because Jaedong's Jaedong, but he might beat people like Hyuk, who actually isn't that great of a Zerg from what I've heard. As I mean, he's better than he was, but not nearly as good as I thought he was. There's a lot better Zergs out there. Apparently, it's just because I haven't watched a lot of these vids. The only vids I really watch are the ones I cast, and oh man, Jaedong only getting 1 hit off from those Scourge. But really, this game is absolutely over. It's been over for a while. I don't know why RoO hasn't GG'd. He's kind of being BM. It looks like he's transferring his drones or going for all-in attackers. I don't know what he was doing with those drones, man, but the drones are getting absolutely slaughtered. These Zerglings are getting in the base, but it's not going to matter. RoO, just GG, man. Save face and GG, you got beat. I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of. There's honestly nothing to be ashamed of losing to the best Zerg ever to play. And if anyone says that Jaedong is not the best Zerg ever to play, I will agree with you 100%, and I can probably find, you know, a million other people that will agree with me that Jaedong is the best Zerg ever to play the game. And finally, RoO GG's. I think he changed his name to like Perfective or something. But anyways, absolute dominance by Jaedong. That's game, guys. Lates.